Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's LastPost ceremony. My name is Andrew Smith, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Lieutenant Commander Simone Franklin. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that support them. We acknowledge the members of RSL and Services Clubs Association, RSL Victoria, and RSL Queensland, who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony around Australia. Also this evening, wreaths will be laid by visitors as well as students on behalf of the following school from Western Australia, SouthernHills Christian College. Please stand and join in singing the national anthem. The Australian War Memorial was a vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this National Memorial and Museum came to him at the bloody fighting of Pozieres in 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families, friends and all Australians could mourn their loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed in the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit, in the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight we'll read the story behind just one of those on the roll of honour, which lists more than 102,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and other operations over more than a century. But first we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of the pool of reflection.
Today we pay tribute to Warrant Officer Berry Lymington Ulrich, who was killed on active service with the Royal Air Force on 5th of June 1944. Born on the 14th of April 1922 in Nyngan in the Bogan Shire area of central New South Wales, Berry Ulrich was the son of Leamington and Vera Ulrich. Berry Ulrich attended Coffs Harbour High School from 1934 to 1940. He was a top student in maths and sciences and received the intermediate certificate. He also represented his school in football and tennis and served as a sergeant in the school cadet corps. A surfer too, he was the North Coast Junior Champion in 1938 to 39 and 1939 to 40. He was also a keen musician, having learned to play the violin and piano. Following high school, Ulrich worked as a clerk at the Vacuum Oil Company in Coffs Harbour until he enlisted in the Royal Australian Air Force on 15 August 1941. Once in the RAF, Ulrich began training as a pilot, and in August 1942 he embarked from Sydney for overseas service. As part of the Empire Air Training Scheme, he was one of almost 16,000 RAF pilots, navigators, wireless operators, gunners and engineers who joined Royal Air Force squadrons throughout the course of the war. Once in Britain, he undertook further specialist training. He was transferred to India in May 1943, where he was posted to number 146 Squadron, Royal Air Force. Based in Calcutta, number 146 Squadron was a fighter squadron which flew the single-engine Hawker Hurricane. On the 5th of June, while undertaking a routine flight from Madras to Yelahanka, Ulrich was in a flying accident which caused multiple injuries and burns from which he did not recover. He was 22 years of age. Ulrich is buried in the British and Commonwealth War Graves Madras War Cemetery in Chennai, India. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my left, with more than 102,000 Australians who have been killed in war. This is but one of the many stories of courage and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We now remember Warrant Officer Berry Lymington Ulrich and all those Australians who gave their lives during the Second World War. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. lest we forget.
Lest we forget. We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli, with his poor tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain, has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the LastPost ceremony. Thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial, and good evening.